Okay, welcome everybody to this evening and to the unveiling of the new MyRepMgr 2.0. And I don't know if you have had a chance to take a look at MyRepMgr or how many of you are already MyRepMgr resellers, or maybe were in the past. But we've been building the site as we've been talking about this launch. And so if you haven't already looked at it, then when you go to it, and you're going to be able to find out and follow up on and learn more about everything we're going to talk about tonight. So this is not going to be the standard sort of sales promotion and sales webinar, because the deal for MyRepMgr is a $1 trial for 14 days if you're not already a MyRepMgr reseller. If you are already a MyRepMgr reseller, your price is going to remain the same. I've honored your price for each stage of the deployment of MyRepMgr over the last couple of years. I've never raised the price on anybody. I've offered new features and functions, and sometimes those incur an incremental charge. But once you're a reseller at a price, I've not raised that price. So with that, I've got Ryan Flanagan here with me tonight, who heads up our support. He's also a reseller and also my partner in selling MyRepMgr, as well as Brad Dixon, who is a relatively new reseller, who is actually the local marketer who's in the process of winning this 100-plus location deal, and that has attracted a lot of people to be here tonight to learn how he went about that. And I'm going to have him on in just a few minutes talking about that deal and how he's used the combination of Reputation Kahuna and MyRepMgr and why he's using both of them in order to close that deal. I've also got a video from the VP of Sales of Vendasta, who's my partner in MyRepMgr. And he shot that for us, and I'm going to try to play that for you here in just a moment. And because he's a great guy, George Leith. He does a lot of traveling, a lot of presentation. He does a great job of presenting the value and also how you go about selling MyRepMgr. We're going to go through the site in just a few minutes after I bring on George, and also after Brad talks about his deal. Then I'm going to cover some of the details and talk to you a little bit about what's been added to MyRepMgr and where you can find everything, so that when you go to get your trial or when you go to log in, if you're already a MyRepMgr reseller, you'll know what to expect and where to look for everything. So with that, let's go ahead and let me just show you quickly what is new about MyRepMgr. So you'll notice tonight I'm not using a PowerPoint presentation. I thought about this and said, you know, we did such a great job, and in particular Ryan, at putting this all together, that really the presentation should focus on the website more than a PowerPoint. What's new about MyRepMgr is, you know, actually let me just check here. I want to make sure that everybody, before I dive into this, I've been sitting here talking, and we are recording this. Can everybody see my screen? Can everybody see the website up there? See my desktop and hear me okay? Yes, okay. Just making sure. Normally people will be blasting away here saying you can't hear anything or see anything, but I've managed to pull it off so far. All right. This is a trial of MyRepMgr, the reseller program. So this is not a trial of the active monitoring system, if you will. This is a trial to become a reseller, and then, of course, you can deploy any of these services that are available through MyRepMgr while you're conducting your trial. So for those of you who may have seen MyRepMgr in the past, or if you're already a MyRepMgr reseller, you will recall that really what we had in the past was focused on reputation monitoring. and reputation management and reputation intelligence. We also have brand analytics, which is the multi-location version of reputation monitoring, the one that Brad is utilizing so successfully in his deal, and I think is helping him to close that deal. And I'll let him talk about that in just a moment. But what we've added new, in addition to that, and I will say that we have a new form of prospecting report called Snapshot, and George actually in his video is going to cover and talk about that. But you can learn more about all these things on the website. But Concierge is actually a done-for-you service related to reputation monitoring and to social marketing. And this is something that we're in the midst of putting together and working with Vendasta to bring forward to make available to all resellers, so that, in effect, you can either do the, manage the reputation building for each of your clients on your own, or you can hire us to do it on your behalf. And so we're putting that together for you, and you can learn more about what's involved there on the website. Presence Builder and the listings and directory management is a new service also that we're offering, and we'll cover that more in just a few minutes. And then social marketing is something that we recently added, but now we have, I think, the full gamut of what Vendasta offers to all of the resellers. And you can see sort of floating across this scroll here on the website a variety of different major media companies and entities that are offering, that are resellers for Vendasta today. Vendasta, I've been touting, in fact, when I started touting this webinar, I was talking about them having over 100,000 customers. They've now crossed the 250,000 business customers for the U.S. and for Canada. Now, that still leaves millions of potential customers out there that are available to us as resellers, which I'm excited about, but you know that to have gained that number of customers, they have to be doing something right. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and show you the video that George created for us, and we really appreciate that. He did it over this past weekend, and I see that I can now go ahead and operate that through GoToWebinar. I'm not going to try to pass it off on you as him being here, because he couldn't be here. But the other thing I want to tell you about is that he created a version of this for you to use for your own webinars with potential clients. And he actually spends, I think when I talked to him last, he was going to be gone. Their headquarters is in Saskatoon, Canada. I forgot which province it's in. But he was going to be gone until Christmas or something like that. He's traveling all the time, all over the United States and Canada, which is the area, countries covered by MyRepMgr and Vendasta. So with that,
my name is George Lee.
Here we go.
Walk through the information that you are going to need to be a reseller for LMS Max, and I want to start by going through a number.
We can hear it, but we can't see it.
All right. Let's see here.
You're protecting the reputation of over.
Pause it for a second and see why you can't see it. Yeah, let me play it from the desktop instead, and what I'll do is I'll edit it in tomorrow, this version that he shot as well. So let me do that instead. And
my name is George Lee. We're going to walk through the information that you are going to need to be. My name is George Lee. We're going to walk through the information that you are going to need to be a reseller for LMS Max. And
Jeff, you need to click share your screen.
A number of items that are key components of any presentation that you're making to business people, and some of the things that we've learned. We protecting the reputation of over 250,000 businesses and counting, including some of the biggest brands in North America. And also small and medium businesses have found that online reputation is vitally important to their businesses as well. And we're going to walk through how you would go about selling
How's
to
that
a
working?
client this incredible solution, and how we've had success in selling in various markets throughout North America. I just want to point out one thing that's really important, and that is that clients are being inundated by telemarketers all the time. And the one thing that we found, and this is a BIA Kelsey slide from a presentation that I witnessed in Las Vegas a number of months back, and Rick Ducey, who is one of the chief operating people there at BIA Kelsey, was speaking that they did a survey of 2,500 businesses in the U.S., and those businesses reported back in the survey that either very important or extremely important to the business person was an in-premise salesperson giving them information and selling them digital products and services. They are getting phone calls on a daily basis about these products and services. And what the business people are saying in this slide and with this data is, we would like to have somebody call on us, because when we have questions, and there are a number of questions in this industry, it's nice to have somebody that we can go to with those questions. And this is pretty impressive numbers when it comes to speaking to the fact that salespeople are needed in order to tell the story and to deal with the issues that come up from time to time. So we're going to talk today about reputation intelligence and how you would go to sell that to a business person. I like to always talk about this story that appeared in the New York Times last September. Eric T. Schneiderman, the Attorney General of the state of New York, was quoted in this story talking about what's even worse than old-fashioned false advertising. New York regulators announced that day that they had completed the most comprehensive crackdown on deceptive reviews on the internet. They reached out to 19 companies, and they told them to stop these practices and to pay a total of $350,000 penalties. It's a year-long investigation where they found that companies would phone a business with negative reviews and say, hey, we can help you with that. And then they would post a number of phony positive reviews because, as we do know, they did have one thing right. The way to deal with negative reviews is to bury them in positive reviews. But these positive reviews were coming from people that didn't exist. And Schneiderman in the Attorney General's office wants to protect the validity of the online review universe. And we're going to talk about some other stats later as to how important reviews are to consumers. And this story right here just shows how important the online reputation industry has become. The best way to prospect for digital revenue is a fabulous little prospecting tool that we have access to through Reputation Intelligence called Snapshot. And it gives us a chance to start the conversation with the prospective business about their virtual doorway. And I want to take you into Snapshot right now and walk you through how easy it is to create a snapshot report. So this is the sales tool. You're able to come into this piece. We have a number of accounts that have been created. I just want to show you how easy it is. We're going to create an account. We select the country. We put in the phone number. We do a search. And then we move to create the snapshot report. In about 10 minutes, it populates the report. And in 24 hours, we have a fully populated report that we can go out and talk to a client about. Let's look at one of those fully populated reports for the Hilton in San Diego. And this is what the snapshot report looks like. It has a cover page. We can go and print it. We can also take it out on our iPad or our desktop computer and start a conversation with the client. So this is the Hilton San Diego. This is how the business wants to be seen. And when we go in to view the report, we can start talking to them about the various items. We'll get to listing distribution in a moment, but let's first talk about visibility and the sources that the Hilton San Diego should be found on. We also show some industry numbers. So they are doing just a little bit better than the industry. They have some populated sites on social, but the accuracy of their listings is atrocious. They have wrong phone numbers. They have missing phone numbers, and they have incorrect addresses. So a number of these items can be solved by communicating with the listing sources or by turning on our listing distribution product, which then takes that correct data, this information right here, and sends it out to Newstar Localese, Factual, Axiom, and Info Group, who then in turn send that data out to the 400 places on the internet where a business needs to be seen. So I want to talk a little bit about that. And we're going to provide these assets to you as well that you can utilize as a reseller. Some of the very important assets include this one right here. Decisions by a consumer are made before they ever enter a store. 83% of consumers have said, we make our buying decisions before we ever go to a store. So the business needs to be vitally concerned about their virtual doorway. And that virtual doorway is a couple of things. It's how they want to be seen, and that's that data that's on the listing sites that we just spoke about, that visibility. And that, coupled with what consumers are saying about them on social media sites and review sites, that's what's going on right here in this research phase. Google calls it the zero moment of truth. And during that zero moment of truth, advertising leads to awareness, and then consumers go out and do research, and then they arrive at a business. So let's speak a little bit more about that listing distribution product. These are the 4 data providers that we give the data to. They then go and push that information out to over 300 places on the internet. It's a long tail solution. It doesn't happen overnight because we don't know when the listing site is going to accept the data. We know when the data provider gets it, but we don't necessarily know when the specific listing site gets that data. And this is what we're moving to correct. Business name, street address, zip and state, phone number, the website, business category, and later this year, hours of operation, photos, and video. The local search is what we're trying to help the business with, how they show up here in that magic 7, the carousel in some categories. We're trying to help the business person achieve this local search metric, and by getting that data correct. Because when we ask Google for hair salons, this being in Gulfport, Mississippi, it goes out and it checks all the data, and it gives us the 7 that have the most consistent data. So also when we look at this snapshot report, we're able to talk to the business about reviews. You'll see that the Hilton San Diego, they get a number of reviews, far more than their industry, but they need to be continued to getting reviews on an ongoing basis. And the reviews are coming from 6 different locations, and that's why they need a solution like Reputation Intelligence. 90% of U.S. consumers in a recent survey said their buying decisions were influenced by online reviews. Nielsen went out and asked a bunch of U.S. consumers, hey, when you make a buying decision, are you using online reviews? And 90% said yes. So if a business is not playing in the online review universe, they need to get educated as to how to handle that. And we are helping businesses all across North America with this on a daily basis. And we've come up with the 3 steps to responding to a negative review. It's a very simple thing. The first step, say you're sorry. The second step, leave some marketing. And the third step, try and get the consumer that has had the negative experience on the phone and solve the problem. That's what we're shooting for when it comes to this. Now, this business, the Hilton San Diego, has what I would call a healthy review pipeline. They have 171 reviews coming from 6 different sources. And that's important to note because that business should be utilizing those reviews as management tools. Good reviews show managers and owners of a business the things that they're doing right. You should highlight those in front of your staff during your training sessions. And bad reviews show you staff that require more training or policy issues that you may need to change in your business. And with Reputation Intelligence, we deliver those reviews with email alerts. So if a review is populated for the Hilton San Diego today, tomorrow, up to 6 members of their management team will receive that review in their email without having to log into the 6 sites where they're receiving reviews. This is one of the key selling components when it comes to Reputation Intelligence. And of course, our Reputation Intelligence piece is coupled with Concierge, which provides a monthly proof of performance of the work that we're doing for the client. So yes, there's a DIY component where we show the business the issues that they have in visibility and their reviews and their social channels, and we give them a software solution that will help them with a mobile-friendly website. But we have found that the majority of businesses probably want someone to handle that stuff for them, and that's where Concierge comes in. And again, we can help you out with that as a reseller, where we can provide you with a piece of software that has a task manager for all these things that have come out of Reputation and social and web, and provides the client at the end of the month with a monthly report. This is an example of one of these reports for Vance Gobbies in Fort Worth, Texas. It's for the month of April. And you'll see that we did a bunch of work. We improved visibility listings, and we highlight all of that in our report for the client to show them the work that we've done. We show them anything that we may be waiting on the customer for, and this client doesn't have any. But we also show them the things that we completed. Social posts that we put online using our social marketing tool, visibility that we improved. Again, reviews that we may have responded to, and mentions that we read through and determined whether there was action required on the behalf of the business. So these are some of the things that we're able to deliver to the client, and the snapshot report, coupled with the collateral that we're going to provide you in that sales deck that we've been using on the street with salespeople all over North America, we've come up and cracked the code on how to carry on this conversation with the business person. So I just want to summarize one final time some of the things that you're going to want to talk about on every sales call. When you take out snapshot, make sure you determine that this is actually how the business wants to be seen. This anchor data needs to be correct, or any of the data that we pulled in this report is going to be incorrect. So you want to set that up right out of the gate. Hey, Mr. Business Person, is this how you want to be seen? Then we went out and we did this report. The first is where you're found on the internet. This is your presence. And you have pretty good presence. But when it comes to the accuracy of that presence, you have some issues, and we are able to help you with that. We can either give you a solution with listing distribution that's going to just automatically communicate with these places, or we might even be able to go in and talk to some of the, maybe the big four of Google, Yelp, Bing, or Yahoo, and actually claim those listing sites for the business. The second is reviews. If they don't have reviews, we need to encourage the business person that they need to get some reviews, because 90% of U.S. consumers are starved for reviews and use them in their buying decisions. If in the case of this client where they have a healthy review pipeline, we need to impress upon them that they're never going to go to 6 places every day to see if a consumer has left them a review. So that's where they need the automated system through reputation intelligence to just deliver those reviews to their key managers on a daily basis. We also look at their social media channels and their mobile-friendly website in the snapshot report. If you are not selling these components, you could just come in here and turn them off. And then they're not going to appear in the report. So that is a quick drive through how it would work from a reseller standpoint, some of the things that you need to impress upon your reseller teams and your salespeople. Snapshot is the key. You can go out and prospect new business or existing customers that you have a relationship with, and you can show them an up to 7-page report that will help them with that sales process. Once again, my name is George Leith, and I thank you for your time, and I hope this has helped you in starting that conversation and prospecting new business using reputation intelligence.
Okay. I hope you all enjoyed that video, and again, I will include that with the replay that we're recording here, as long as the GoToWebinar gods allow us to do that. Let's see if there's any questions about that. And all right, everybody's saying it's kind of hard to hear. Can't see your screen. Hopefully that was resolved. Was everybody able to ultimately hear it once I got it going and was able to follow it? Yes. Okay. All right. Very good. We've also got that on the site as well. So now let's go ahead and bring Brad on to talk about how he's using the new MyRepMgr 2.0 to work towards closing, I should say. I'll let him characterize it appropriately, but I would say work towards closing this deal. Brad, are you there?
I am here.
All right, fantastic. Why don't you go ahead and tell everybody, introduce yourself, and I know probably a number of them know you. We've known each other for a while, but kind of tell the story that needs to be told here about your deal.
Sure. Have been involved with Call Tracker ROI, Reputation Kahuna, and auto syndication for quite a while. And one of the things that I did about 4 months ago when I was sitting in my dentist chair was I began to talk to him a little bit about Call Tracker ROI and some of those types of things. And I asked him who I would talk to at corporate, because it was a very large dental corporation. And he gave me the name and contact and that sort of thing. And I began seeking to get into this corporation and could not get anywhere. Finally, I took the MyRepMgr report and I took that into my dentist and I just laid it on the table, and he had 14 absolutely horrific reviews. I mean, 1-star reviews. They hadn't had any bad reviews in the last year. In fact, they'd had 4 or 5-star reviews in the last year. But going back 2 and 3 years ago, there were just horror stories. And when I showed him that report, his face kind of went white. I don't think that he knew that those reports were out there online. Now, I know a lot of you are using RepKahuna. I use RepKahuna. You know, in my mind, there's nothing better for marketing reviews to the different platforms. The mobile app, which is critical for what I'm doing with this dental office solution, and then also the review video platform, absolutely unsurpassed. But here's why I chose to bring MyRepMgr into the mix of what I was already doing. MyRepMgr has an extremely robust review feature to go out there and find the reviews that are online for the dentist. It does not do it instantly. It takes about 24 hours to have a completely fully populated report. And so that's why I'm using this report. It's a lot more robust. But here's been the key selling point and why I think that this could be key for getting large corporations to take a look at this. Now, Greg shared that you know, one of the big things, of course, is being able to pull all the different reviews in. Now, my understanding is, from what I've seen on the reports, you can have like up to 60 or so different review sites that you can, you know, have to collect the data from. So it's, like I said, it's very robust. But here's where things began to happen. My dentist was so shocked by what he saw, he immediately got me an appointment with 2 of the 5 principals of this major dental corporation. They're the 2 that happen to be in charge of corporate communications and branding and that type of thing. And so I met with them. I showed them MyRepMgr. I showed them the reports. And then I introduced them to this concept of brand analytics. Now, the brand analytics is where you can take a multi-location company and be able to provide a service to that corporation that will literally blow them away. They can see, as a corporation, in their back office and through email reporting, etc., they can see individual locations, what the reviews are for this month. You know, it can be a daily report. Hey, you had 2 good reviews and 3 bad reviews for this location. It can also go by city. You could say, okay, we want all of the dental offices here in Denver. We want to see what their reviews are doing here in Denver, or by the state, by Colorado, or by region, the Southwest region. Or they can get a report that looks at the entire company as a whole. And so this breakdown of reporting for a corporation, as I showed this to the principals, and we were discussing a little bit on the price, in front of me, the 2 principals began to have a conversation. And the conversation went something like this. This is incredible. We need this type of reporting. We've never known or had access to this type of information ever before. This is something that the corporation needs. We could pay for half of it and then take the other half out of their marketing budget and get this information for all of our locations. And so we moved from okay, you're going to have to call each one of the dentists personally, and each one of the dentists are going to have to decide whether they want to do this or not, to this is something that we need as an entire corporation, and if we do this deal, we're going to take a look at doing it for all of our locations. It's so critical for the corporation that the corporation will consider paying for half of it. It completely changed the entire dynamic of that sales presentation, of that conversation, and where we're headed. Now, what they've decided to do, because this is how I originally got in with my dentist, I offered to give him a month trial of the mobile app from RepKahuna in their location. And so through the course of discussion, they wanted to do 2 locations with that free trial. And I said, okay, I'd be glad to put the tablets in the 2 locations with a refundable deposit. But If you'd like to do the whole entire program and see what that looks like, then so I got basically a pilot program, some money up front for that. It did just cover the cost of the tablets, but hey, it helps. But here's the deal: they're so excited about this whole corporate brand analytics, which I can only get through MyRepMgr, that they're looking at taking all 110 locations all at once through this service. Once we finish with the month trial, we're going to be installing the first mobile app in the office on August the 6th. We're setting up MyRepMgr right now, today, tomorrow. We'll get that finished so they can be getting the reporting that they're most interested in. So that's where we're at right now. I'll keep y'all posted. This has definitely added a level to what I can do as a company for my clients that I've never had before, the ability to do, and to just absolutely blow it out of the park with complete professional materials, reporting that I couldn't possibly produce with anything else I've used before. So that's how I'm merging the two together. And Jeff, thanks for letting me come on and share that. Hopefully it's been an inspiration for some people. Folks, get out there, use the tools. It's not going to come in your door. You're going to have to go out to them, go get it done, and it works.
All right, Brad, thanks very much for sharing that with us. Let me just ask you one question. I'm sure this is, we've got some way to goes coming up here from Don and from others. Let me just ask you, let's set apart the amount of money that you may be able to generate for Reputation Kahuna, which is a great service, has a lot of fine features. What do you think ultimately this, for the reputation monitoring, the brand analytics reporting, and I know we've talked about involving the social marketing as well as the concierge service, but let's set those aside for the moment. What type of charge are you thinking about for the 100 locations?
For the 100 locations, of course, I gave them a 30% break. I said 40% if the corporation will pay it in one check as opposed to having to go to each of the dentists. At the time, we've since raised our prices, but I'm going to honor the price that I had for them. It was $9.97 a month, and that included, Reputation Kahuna, the review videos, the mobile app, all those things, and a 40% discount. So you can do the math on that. There's quite a bit of profit in there. The MyRepMgr portion, I didn't even mention that. The social media platform, some of you may be aware that you can get programs out there to search Twitter for keywords. They're extremely excited about being able to do that. At each office, we're going to build in a keyword search at Twitter with a 3-mile radius around the dental location. And a couple times a day, they're going to have one of their office people go in and find out who's talking about, I got to go to the dentist, my son needs braces, things like that on Twitter, where they can respond to it. That feature alone is a huge selling point, particularly for roofers. Oh gosh, I mean, you can the implications of that service alone is incredible. And so with just MyRepMgr alone, yeah, we're talking thousands every month.
Fantastic, Brad. Thanks for sharing that detail with us. And the funny story is, now we've known each other, I don't know, a couple of years, I'm going to roughly say, certainly more than a year. But we recently, because you're our CallTrack ROI reseller, and then we got excited about DentalGator when we were announcing that we gave that away free to all CallTrack ROI resellers. And I don't know exactly, I know we were communicating on Facebook, but I think we were talking about something else, and I just happened to mention the brand analytics aspect of MyRepMgr because you were not a reseller, and that you had, I think we were talking maybe about DentalGator and how you'd gotten in through another dentist using that. And then you talked about this deal, and I mentioned this to you in the space of just a few days. I think it's become, part of your quiver of arrows that you're going to be using going forward. Am I correct?
Absolutely correct. The way you and I came to it, and by the way, Dental Gator is a tremendous door opener. Obviously not for this corporation because they're huge and they're already getting the discounts they need. But
right.
For these individual dentists, Dental Gator is incredible. But the conversation was had between you and me as I was getting ready to present to these principals. You just happened to mention to me the brand analytics. And so within, literally, yes, it was about 48 hours before the presentation, you introduced me to the brand analytics.
I think we just
and that was actually the key that just captivated them to the point of, man, as a corporation, we could pay for half of this. We need to pay for half of this because we need that level of reporting and accountability.
Yeah, for this, this was developed, and obviously with 250,000 clients on behalf of Vendasta, our partner here, they have a number of large corporations. They do not, that is certainly not all of the market, and they have a lot of single location businesses as well that are on this platform. But they developed it for a simple reason. You get 100 locations or 1,000 locations. I've seen some of the clients they have on here. The people at the top, and this could be a business owner, this could be an automobile dealer, that has 20 different locations. They do not want to look at 20 different reports. They don't want to look at 5 different reports. They don't want to look at 3 different reports. They certainly don't want to look at 50 or 100 or 500 or 1,000. So they were able to develop this so that the people that were responsible at the top and were holding the people that were out in the field responsible were having a way of seeing aggregated information that was actionable. You can't send them 100 different reports. That's not actionable information. They would have to pay somebody to sit there and try to aggregate this. Well, it's already been aggregated through MyRepMgr and the brand analytics platform. So any size business, 3 to 5 locations and up is a potential prospect for this because it simply saves them time and gives them actionable information that they can move forward on. So again, Brad, thank you for your time and your effort, and I look forward to helping you close that deal. And I can't wait until you get through your trial and get to the end of that, and we can roll this out. So what I'm going to do now is just walk you through what you're going to see on the site, because the site, like I said, does a great job of explaining all the different aspects of this, but I want you to see, and you have access, even as a non-reseller, to virtually everything on the site. The only thing that you don't have access to is anything here under the Members tab on navigation. Once you become a reseller and get your first active account, and you'll see that I've noted here the key first step that I want to recommend to everybody is that the first client that you set up on MyRepMgr is your business. Okay? You have a location, whether it's your home or whether you've got a P.O. box or whether you've actually got a shared office rental space type of situation, whatever you've got, you have a location. You should set up your own account, go through the process that you would go through with clients. Order a demo report, which creates a snapshot report, which, as you saw in the video that George showed that he created, and as you've heard Brad talk about, he used to go in and talk with his dentist, and it gives them an overview of their reputation on a lot of different levels. It's not just reviews. You can select from over 60 different sites, including local search sites like Google+, Bing, Yahoo. You can select from a variety of different review sites, And a lot of these are general review sites as well as specific industry-related review sites. And you select those that apply to your business prospect. And it also collects social media from employees. It collects social media comments from competitors. It collects news, images, videos that have keywords that you set into the report. So if the name of the company, maybe it's some other names it may commonly be called by, even principals in the business or key employees that you want to track in social media or on the internet. It also, and I think importantly so, covers the top 3 markets based upon the top 3 keywords and the top 3 competitors that your prospect or client competes in their market. So it tracks a lot of different metrics related to the competitors. And I think this is very important. So the key first step, yes, go ahead.
I'm just going to make a comment on that because I just realized as you were going through that we hadn't mentioned that yet. That is a huge, huge selling point, is taking a look at their competitors. When you can sit there and say, you know, Joe down the street, oh, I hate Joe. He's my biggest competitor. Yeah, well, he's got more of the market share than you do. That feature alone, just on ego, can make a good sale for you.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many different aspects of this that you need to go ahead and make yourself your first customer. Go through the process, order your demo report, get your snapshot report, see how the process of either sharing it as a PDF or emailing the link so they can log in. Then you need to create an active monitoring account for yourself. It's just $25 a month. Okay, a demo report is $2. It's $1.97. To turn that into an active monitoring account is $25 a month. Unless you have multiple locations, you probably don't necessarily want to set up a brand analytics type report because it's $35 a month to do it, but you have to have multiple locations to really see the benefit from it. A social marketing account is $35 a month. In that account, you can set up RSS feeds based on your keywords and industry. It will deliver to you content which you can curate and post, either immediately or schedule to post into the social media accounts that are connected into the account. And as Brad was talking about, using keywords and using geography, you can search for, and since we talked about dentistry, you can search for specific keywords that people are tweeting about within 5 miles of the location of your client, or 3 miles, or maybe it's statewide, maybe it's the whole United States. It depends upon where they consider their marketplace to be. But it will notify them as soon as anybody within that geography tweets any of the keywords that you set up so that they can respond back to them, and basically it becomes a lead to them. And you can use that same strategy for your own business. So you need to go ahead and deploy these different services. It's very little money for your own business, so that not only do you become a client who can build their reputation in all the different ways that we talked about, and let me not forget the listings management that George talked about. That's just $99 a year. That sells for $300 on Localese, and I've seen comparable prices on some of the other services that do that. You can set this up, and it is a long tail solution because it does take time to go out and be distributed through that platform. But through MyRepMgr, you can also immediately log into, through your active monitoring account as well as your demo account. You can actually log into the different various sites that you're monitoring for your client, and go ahead and go in there and claim or work on resolving whatever errors there are for those different sites. The final thing that we are working on together with Vendasta is to go ahead and implement the concierge service. And I have a long history with Vendasta. I actually found them one of the first services back in 2011 and deployed them for my own business. And this was back when I'm sure they had less than 100,000 customers at that point in time. And didn't really have anybody else who was offering this, but I saw, and at that point in time, they really just had the reputation intelligence service. They have come a long way, both in terms of numbers of resellers and obviously in terms of clients, and certainly in terms of the different types of services that they offer. And you'll see as we're going to be notifying you here through the news section, our blog will be notifying you of a variety of different new features and functions and value propositions that will be offered through this platform as we go forward. We're notified of them, and we'll sort through those and decide which ones apply the most, because there's a ton of information coming out of Vendasta all the time. If you're wondering why it is that I've partnered with them, now for those of you who know me, I do a lot of partnership deals with large companies that know what they're doing. They've got a lot of money behind them, and basically they're looking for resellers, but they don't want a bunch of small resellers. Okay, what I do is basically provide an interface and an integration for all the small businesses to be able to access these large business enterprise solutions, because they don't want thousands of resellers. Their resellers are the large media companies out there. But by banding everybody and aggregating everybody together, and by actually building an interface through MyRepMgr to be able to access the individual reports, to be able to order a demo and snapshot report for just $1.97, to be able to order an active monitoring account for just $25, to be able to order a brand analytics report for $35 for each location, to be able to order a social media account, to be able for $35 a month, to be able to order the listings distribution service for $99 a year, and ultimately to be able to deliver and order concierge service, which will be the done-for-you services related to reputation intelligence and social marketing, etc. That's the value proposition I bring, because otherwise it takes thousands of dollars to be able to set up to become a reseller and to manage this on an ongoing basis. So that's the value proposition that I bring both to Vendasta as well as to all the MyRepMgr resellers. Now, just quickly, I want to show you what you can find here in the website. And there's an overview of I'm not going to go to each page because it'll take time to resolve. There's a quick overview of MyRepMgr and all the 5 different service areas that we offer. The instruction on how to start the $1 14-day trial, then it's $47 a month. My intent is to go to $97 a month as soon as this promotion is over in the next couple of weeks. I will be rolling out another service that will be closely integrated with this. Many of you have heard me talk about it in the past couple of months. I'm finally, I think, ready to come to market with it next week. And so I'm going to hold this over because it's going to be a fantastic 1-2 punch. These services are going to work together very well. There's nothing else like it out there in the marketplace in the local marketing arena. So stay tuned for that. The key first step, I talk about you need to be your first customer so you understand how these services work, and you build value and build your presence and your reputation in the marketplace as well. And here's a quick start checklist. Once you do become a reseller, make sure after you order your $1 trial, you go here and see exactly how to get started with this. All the tools, there's an overview of all the tools, and then you'll see here under each of the different areas, the primary areas of our service, there are pages talking about and explaining what all of these things are. We've got several pages for reputation intelligence, the snapshot report, brand analytics, concierge service, presence builder, and the business listings distribution services, as well as the location page. I just sort of talked about that. but you are able, through the MyRepMgr Business Center, to actually create or allow your customer to create location pages that are responsive in nature for those businesses who may not have a mobile page, maybe they don't even have a website. They can build it, or you can build it for them. Social marketing, how to use social media as a customer service tool. A lot of people complain on social media, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. And there's a way of utilizing this platform as a customer service tool, either on their behalf or letting them use it as well. You can also generate leads we've talked about with social media, and then how to build a social audience using the content curation tool. We also have some past the gatekeeper resources here, or review me cards, and this explains that. And there's some white label resources here that are downloadable marketing videos, including the video that was created by George. It's a customer-facing video version. It's about 22 minutes long, I believe, version of what you just saw me play, which was pointed at you. This is where all of the news about what's coming, and there's a lot coming. This is going to be a lot of work, which Ryan has agreed to undertake. Be able to, yeah, we've already got some in there as well, and we'll be sorting through everything that's coming out from Vendasta and making you aware through here. And occasionally we will also send out emails through the MyRepMgr platform. Now let's go to training. This I want to make sure everybody understands and takes advantage of. We have live weekly sales and training webinars for each of these major areas, both product training as well as how to sell training, 5 days a week. There's one for each day of the week, okay? And you'll be able to sign up for these. These are both training as well as Q&A. So if you have direct questions that you want to ask, and listen, this platform, this company, they're resellers. More than 250,000 clients on this. Do you think they know how to sell reputation services? Do you think they know how to sell all these 5 different types of services? They know how to do it, and they're going to share it with you right through these webinars. We also have a variety of different marketing and sales collateral. I'm going to go ahead and click on here because this is just a ton of information. This is the marketing webinar that you'll be able to download right here, this download button. And then we got the client-facing deck that he uses in here. We also have the reseller marketing deck if you want access to that. And then we've got a variety of different brochures, sales videos. These are unbranded, sample executive report, which is a snapshot report. We've got sales decks that are PowerPoint that you can brand for yourself, and we've got them for each of the different services: reputation intelligence, a ton of things, presence builder, the listing distribution, the location page, concierge service, the social marketing service. This is for brands or brand analytics. We've got white labeled sales videos. We've got case studies, and we've got some slide decks that are presentation decks for a variety of different industries, also located here. So these are all available to you to download as a reseller. We've also got video library and archives. There are probably 170 plus videos that Vendasta has created over the past couple of years. Now, when I started back in 2011, they had no videos. I had to create any kind of video that was created both for product training as well as for sales. They have taken care of, and that's one of the reasons why I decided to go ahead and frankly felt like I needed to go ahead and make available to you everything that they're already creating, because there's no way that I can try to keep up or compensate or try to replace what they're doing for all of their resellers now. So we will be adding to this video library and archives videos that have already been created or past trainings that have already been done as we go forward. And then we've got specific training related to reputation intelligence, brand analytics, presence builder, and listing service, social marketing, and of course, when we roll out concierge, we'll be adding that as well. These pages are all related to training on how to interface with MyRepMgr. Okay? Remember, you have two systems. Vendasta operates on a one-to-one basis. They have one partner that has access to their platform. They may have 1,000 salespeople, but the 1,000 salespeople all go through that one partner. That one partner gets charged for everything. In order to serve 1,000 different resellers that are all independent business people, like the MyRepMgr model represents, I had to have an interface that allows you as an individual reseller to access the same set of tools and resources and services, but only pay for what you are using. Okay, so that is the function of MyRepMgr, is to provide that interface, which is integrated back into Vendasta so that you can just order and pay for what you're doing, and everybody pays their own way. So all the training related to how to place an order or to use the MyRepMgr site and services will be located here under training under these specific product type pages. And then finally, here's your members login. This is where you come to log into the site. The sales tool, which is where once you have placed an order for the demo report and purchase that, you can purchase them in several different ways. You can purchase one, which is $1.97. You can purchase 5, which I guess is roughly about $10, is slightly less than that, so 5 times $1.97. And then you can, I've actually got a new service, so if you're going to be an active reseller, you can purchase 25 a month for $50. So you just add that on to your $47 a month reseller service, and you can deploy up to 25 a month. Once you have an active account, which all of you should have once you sign up your own business and start working on that, then you're going to have what's called a Business Center login. Okay? Now, the Business Center is applicable to both a reseller as well as to a client. Your client will be able to access their accounts, and that could be their reputation intelligence monitoring report. It could be their presence builder location page. It could be their listing service. It could be their social marketing. It could be their brand analytics if they have multiple locations. So everything that they're going to access that you're providing to them, including concierge reports, will be accessible through the Business Center. You as a reseller will also have a Business Center. You will have access to all of your clients and all of the services that they're being offered through your Business Center. Your client and their Business Center will only have access to their specific services that they have purchased through you. Okay? So, and finally is the store. Let me just click on there because you have to be logged in as a MyRepMgr reseller in order to have access to this. And so this is where you purchase the 1 demo report, the 5 demo reports, the 25 demo accounts per month. These are one-time purchases, the 1 report or 5 reports. This is if you're going to be active, you sign up, and that way you don't have to worry about coming back and purchasing all the time. The social leads monitoring account, the demo to active. So once you've got a demo report, which is active for 7 days, it's the same thing as a monitoring report, but it only searches for and reports on activity for 7 days. Then it becomes dormant. It's still accessible to you for up to 30 days. It can be deleted after that, but it's dormant in terms of collecting new data. Once you want to convert that demo report to an active monitoring report, you just come here and purchase that, and we'll make that conversion for you. If you create several different demo accounts, like we did for Brad, for his client, and then you want to turn those into multi-location brand active monitoring accounts so they're accessible through the brand reporting system and aggregated in that fashion, then you come here and purchase that, and we'll aggregate them for you and put them into not only the Business Center for your client, but as well, we'll put them into your Business Center as well. If you want to order the Presence Builder and Annual Listings Optimization Service for $99 a year, you order it there. You can order the Review Me cards, and I'll let you learn about that yourself on your own time. But you can purchase them here, and they can be customized for you as well. And then we have a number of business reputation type services that are offered and delivered by World Internet Marketing. And here's their phone number, the time of day, and their email as well. And all the different services that they have made available, some of which apply to MyRepMgr, and some of them are outside really the scope of what MyRepMgr does, but they do impact your clients or your business's presence and reputation. So you can learn more about all of these here on the store as well. So that's a pretty quick but thorough, I think, review of the new MyRepMgr 2.0. I appreciate the time and effort that George put into making that, not only the video for you, which I'll be including with the replay for this, but also the webinar video that he created that you can use in your own marketing. I appreciate the work that Ryan put into this, and Ryan heads up the support desk for all the different services that I have, but also he covers MyRepMgr as well. And Brad, I want to thank you for coming here and being here tonight and sharing, what you were able to accomplish using MyRepMgr, and specifically the brand analytics reporting and the social marketing reporting. And I look forward to working with you closely to help close that deal. And I know that's going to be I think you told me this was the biggest deal that you've ever had an opportunity to have on your plate. So I want to make sure I help you close that as well. Let me see if there are any questions that I can answer. Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to say real quick, I'm going to make a confession here. When I was looking at getting a 100-unit location, I did go to Vendasta myself. And, it's going to be like $1,000 to get it. And minimum sales quotas per month, 100 units, I could probably make it. But as I looked at what I could do going directly to Vendasta or staying with you, like I said, this is a confession now. I decided absolutely it was worth staying with you. Folks, there's never been an opportunity to work with a corporation like Vendasta without what Jeff has put together for us. And at the price points that Jeff is charging, it just made sense for me to stay with you, Jeff. So again, that's my confession. But for anybody that's wondering, what Jeff has done for us is absolutely amazing, to be able to offer corporate level, high quality products for our clients that you would not otherwise have access to, because Vendasta wouldn't even look at you. So Jeff, I just want to say thank you. I want to thank you for all the help that you've given to me. And absolutely, MyRepMgr, that's the way for us to go and be able to break into a heavily corporate-dominated field with the tools that we need to make it happen. So, Jeff, thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate that, Brad. And look, when I made the decision to bring forward Vendasta, I decided, that maybe 1 out of 100 businesses might be large enough to interface directly with Vendasta. They would have enough business, enough resources to take on the task, and it is a task. Vendasta has large, you can see who their big companies are, okay? George Leith goes out. I asked George, he said, Jeff, I'm prepared to come out and speak at some of your events, because I'm flying all over the United States and Canada all the time, and I'm there at these locations. So if you have events where you've got some clients, I'd be happy to, if I've got time, to come over and speak at these for your resellers. But let me tell you, the events that he's speaking at have hundreds of businesses, because these are corporations that probably have hundreds or thousands of customers. And it's not an easy task to get their attention for obvious reasons. The fact is, I've been, I started with them when I first started with them and signed a contract. I was talking to the CEO because that's how small they were. I don't know how many employees they had at that time. I don't remember. That's 3 years ago. But I'm going to say it was probably 20 or fewer. I don't know how many they have now. They've gotten several big rounds of capital. They've got large, obviously, a number of customers. They are a big force. They do business with big businesses. And, I appreciate the fact that I'm able to get their attention to help me, even though we're a small operation. But they see big things, or they wouldn't be helping me. But I can just tell you, and Vendasta's there. You can go to them. They do white label. It's not inexpensive. Getting their attention is not easy. So I think we do a good job in support as well, because this is software, guys. They have APIs that they're connected into with all these different sources. There's a ton of different things that are happening all the time because they've expanded their services. It's a full-time job keeping up with what is going on with them. And certainly as you start to get clients and you get questions about all these different things, well, what's happening with this on this review side or this directory, or what's going on with this new service, I don't think that's where you want to spend your time. And that's where, that's the role that we serve in terms of interfacing with this large behemoth in order to boil it down and make it simple enough that you can interface with it, and you can just buy the demo report for $1.97, and you can go into your sales tool and set it up, and then you can learn some training or ask us questions about how to do this, that, and the other. And, look, Vendasta would not have helped you. I think you probably already know this. I'm just going to make this point. You wouldn't have gotten Vendasta to help you in 48 hours to help win that deal. I'm just being blatantly honest, and I don't think I'm speaking out of turn about them. They're just a large company at this juncture, but that's the kind of service that you get with us. So I appreciate the confession. Anybody who gets, this is America. I have people all the time ask me, well, people are going to find out about this, or you're going to compete with you. Look, this is America. That's what we do, is compete. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with competition, but I think you'll find it to be a challenge trying to go on your own. It's much simpler to go the way of MyRepMgr. Let me see if, yes, Lewis asked, did Brad say $9.97 per location? That was the per location price, but he was offering them I think 40% discount. So does brand analytics and RepKatuna do the same function? If not, what's the difference between the two? Lou asked that. Brad, if you're still here, I'm going to let you speak to that, because I don't have Reputation Kahuna. I had it at one time, but I don't have it today.
Right. Basically, you're talking about apples and oranges. RepKatuna is incredible for the review videos, the mobile app, the syndication of reviews across platforms. There isn't anybody that can even touch RepKatuna when it comes to those features. As any of you may have noticed, David posted in the lead report today, Google has changed 25 times in the last so many days, and it's driving their programmers absolutely crazy. They're trying to print a report instantly of your reviews online for your customers. Vendasta, it's going to take at least 24 hours to get a full report from Vendasta. And so the report is so much more robust. And so that's how I'm using the two together. I'm using RepKatuna to do the things that RepKatuna only does and that nobody else does, and that it does better than anybody else. And I'm using MyRepMgr for what it does that nobody else can do.
Well said. Thank you, Brad. The cost per month after the $1 trial is $47. So a free account, Donna asks, so a free account doesn't give us an account set up for our own reputation marketing. Your $47, your $1 trial for 14 days and then $47 to become a reseller gives you access to everything I just showed you in terms of the training, the store, and not only the sales training but the product training and the ability to order all of these different services that I just walked you through that are in the store. Each of those services that are in the store have a specific cost, anywhere from $1.97 for a demo report up to $99 a year for the listing service and prices in between. There are some one-time costs, there's some annual costs, there's some monthly costs. You can learn all about that there in the store. And if you have questions, you can see to the left here, here's our handy support tab that's on all of our different sites. You can turn in a support question there, and we're happy to answer those for you. This is a good question. I think maybe, Brad, I appreciate the fact that you're still here, we got a question about would listings management replace Yext or complement it? I know when we were talking about it, you were talking to me about what you were doing today, and I think you're going to replace what you're doing today with this. You want to say something about that?
Absolutely. I had looked at Yext. I used them for one company. I also used local SEO Push. Nothing against any of those guys. They've all got great platforms. What Vendasta has pulled together, local SEO Push was, I think, Local Ease. Yext was, again, I think, Local Ease. Vendasta uses the top, or I guess only, 4 data feed providers all together. So for the same, actually less money than what I was paying for some of these other services, I was getting 4 platforms as opposed to 1. I was getting over 300 directories as opposed to 120. So less money and almost triple the coverage. Far better.
All right, thanks a lot. Yeah, Becky says, this concierge service rocks. You're able to knock it out of the park with these guys. Yes, that's something, and quite frankly, it's taken me a while to get Vendasta to the point where they would consider doing business with us for concierge. Because typically, normally, they want somebody that has 500 accounts before they'll even talk to them about concierge. Okay, but I was able, because I've been with them for so long, I was able to, actually at the last minute, before we were launching this, get them to finally agree to give us access to that. And so that's why we are not ready to actually sign you up for it, because we have to make sure that we understand exactly what to do for it. They've got software, and we just have to go through the training and decide exactly what the labor cost will be in relation to it. But it's been a big winner for them, because they know, they found out, and their resellers have found out, just like all of you know, that yes, while the clients can go in and do the work, that the clients don't want to go in and do the work. And yes, while the resellers can go in and do the work, they don't necessarily want to go in and do the work. So that'll be something we'll be rolling out here in the near future. This is Jeff talking. Actually, this is Ryan's computer, because there's some good things and some bad things associated with living on the great Lake Lanier in North Atlanta. The good news is that I live on the lake. I can walk down to my dock and go out on my boat, which I rarely do except on the weekends because I'm so busy. But the bad news is that I only have DSL because I'm in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains and living on the lake, and my upload speed is 0.2 if I'm lucky. And so I've noticed recently people complaining about the fact that my slide, I'm talking and I'm 3 slides back because my screen isn't changing. So I'm over here at Ryan's house and actually using his computer, and that's why it said Ryan before. When do you expect the concierge service to be available? How much you expect it to be? I just don't know, Terry. I don't know the answer to that question. I'm going to make it available as quickly as possible because I know that Brad wants to employ it for his customers. So, we've got a potential there of 100 plus customers for it. And so I'll be working diligently with NADAS to figure out exactly how quickly we can deploy it and what it's going to be. Can this apply to Asia? No, it only is useful in the United States and Canada. Some of these services could be, some aspects of it could be deployed in Asia, but I'm just going to tell you the review sites and the directories sources are primarily focused on Canada and the U.S. Now, the social media aspect of it certainly could be used anywhere in the world. But in terms of the directory listings, reviews, that aspect of it is U.S. and Canada focused. What additional charges are there outside the $47 per month? Each of the services I just showed you in the store. Yeah, Mark, anybody who wants to re-up, you simply go to the MyRepMgr.com. That is MyRepMgr, just as you see the logo there, MyRepMgr.com, and you can click on the $1 trial and get started. Is it a white label when they log on? What we've actually done is, and actually one of the resellers created this for me, we've created a generic logo that does not say MyRepMgr. Okay? It doesn't really say anything. So you can just claim that that's your service and it's coming from you and it's coming from your email. If you want, you can simply tell people it's MyRepMgr, just like I'm sure a lot of the resellers of Vendasta tell people it's Vendasta. And so, but they can't buy it individually. It has to be purchased through a reseller. So that's up to you. But we've made it as generic and hidden as possible. Vaughn, where can you see the services? You can see it right there on MyRepMgr. This total startup cost is $1 to get started and $47 a month after you become after the 2-week trial. Then, JD, in order to, as I recommend, I think you ought to order some demo accounts at $1.97. Use one for your business. If you haven't set up a Google Plus page, if you haven't set up yourself in the directories, then you can order the directory service. You can also create an active monitoring account. That's $25 a month, and that will enable you to build your reputation, to get distribution into the various local search and review sites, as well as into the directories that are considered in the 60 different directory sites. Now, I will tell you that they also collect information on other citation sources. They're just not monitored through the API. Okay, you may have hundreds of citations that are discovered through the reporting service. They're just not monitored on a constant basis through the API like the 60 some odd are. All right. Will there be a replay? Yes. It's $47 per month for a reseller. It's $25 a month for an active monitoring account for one location, $35 a month for an active monitoring account for each brand location if you have multiple locations. All right. Presence Builder and annual listings, $99 a year for unlimited listings. I think there's about 400 sources that they just distribute into. You can edit the report and put my logo on. It's actually going to be delivered to them through their business center. Okay? And they'll be able to monitor it through their business center. Is MyRepMgr in competition with us? No. We're not selling directly through MyRepMgr. Okay. Well, thank everyone for their time. I appreciate all of your efforts. If you're already a MyRepMgr reseller, I hope you're excited as we are with all the new services that are available and the ones that will be coming available. I hope that you get excited and enthralled with the idea of going out and winning your own multiple location and multi-location business like Brad was able to accomplish. And I want to thank you, Brad, for spending some time with us this evening and sharing everything that you've shared with them. It's an unlimited listing for a business. It's $99 a year per business location. Okay, everything's driven by location. So it's $25 a month for an active monitoring account for one location, $35 a month if it's multiple locations that are aggregated into a brand analytics access report through the business center. It's $35 a month for social marketing and $99 a year for listings. Okay. Yeah, if you got any other questions, just go to the support tab. Ryan and/or I will be happy to answer those for you. Can this work for restaurants with multiple locations as well? Yes, Eric, definitely. Anything that has more than, I would say, 3 locations, and that goes for a variety of different types of businesses. Remember, it's all driven by location and address. So if it has an individual address, it's a location that needs its own monitoring. Okay, that's the way it works. So anything like that, you're going to love the aggregated view that brand analytics provides for you and your client. Thanks for your time. Go to MyRepMgr.com. Click around on the site. Find out everything that you need to find out about the service and all the variety of things that we can do for you. All the different training that we provide, the ongoing weekly training, 5 days a week for all the different services, as well as not only product training but sales training, all the archive training we've got, all the marketing materials, the brochures, the unbranded sales decks that you can use to go out and sell and take advantage of all this. Got any further questions? Jump into the support tab. I hope you join us. It's just $1. You can dive in there and get started. So good luck and welcome aboard if you decide to join us. Look for the replay. A couple more quick questions that people have asked here. I'll go ahead and answer this since we're still here. So 3 locations if we want to aggregate it. Yeah, I think you need at least 3 locations, Steve, and it would be $35 a month for each location. Okay, if it's a single location that you're actively monitoring, it's just $25 a month. If you're going to aggregate them into the brand analytics format, where they can access the aggregated information as well as the individual information for each location, then it becomes $35 instead of $25. Okay, so it's $10 more to have it aggregated into the brand analytics because you're going to get 2 different views. You get the aggregated view as well as you can drill down into the individual location and get that view. How do I see this fitting with call tracker ROI? Well, you know, it really serves 2 different purposes. I think they're both great services. They are provided by 2 great organizations. Call tracker ROI solves the issue of, understanding how you're, first of all, making sure that you don't miss any phone calls and miss all the money associated with missed calls. Secondly, it helps you understand how your individual staff is performing in terms of converting leads, and we all know what the problem is of providing a bunch of leads to a business and them not converting. And then thirdly, it helps identify the return on investment, the actual return on investment of each of the marketing programs driven by the amount of revenue that's generated from the clients who actually came from those individual programs. This does all that it does. So But I think regardless of whether you get in through Dental Gator, you get in through Reputation Management, you get in through Local Video Ad Network or Call Tracker ROI, whatever, this becomes a service that you can upsell into once you have a relationship.
Can I address that question, Jeff?
Yeah, sure.
I tried for 3.5 months to get in with this dental corporation with Call Tracker ROI. I love Call Tracker ROI. I've got dentists that was the thing that they were interested in. I would not be sitting with this corporation right now had I stuck with Call Tracker ROI in this particular case. So MyRepMgr allows us to be able to have another, as you said, quiver, arrow in our quiver, to be able to go out there and help every single person we talk to. You have to be a consultant here. Okay, you can't be a salesman. And when you're a consultant, you find out what their pain points are and find out what arrow is going to do the job, as opposed to, hey, I'm selling you Call Tracker ROI, don't you want it? It's the greatest thing in the world. For a lot of dentists, it will be the thing that they're interested in. In this particular case, it wasn't. So that's my take on it. This gives us the quiver, the arrow in our quiver, to go out there and be a true consultant and help them with their pain, whatever that is.
Yes, well said, well spoken. You've got to address the problems that they speak of. When you ask them, what keeps you awake at night? Whatever that is keeping them awake, whatever problems they perceive that they have, or anything that you can identify for them by simply asking them a few questions. That's going to help you drive what it is that you offer to them first, because you need to establish a business relationship with them first. I know Brad has ideas for other things that he can offer to this corporation, but he's solving their immediate problem first, build some trust in a relationship, and then he can go back and actually offer them other things that will solve some additional problems. All right. Thank you. Anybody has any questions, Craig, you want to know about Call Tracker, turn in a support ticket or leave your email here in the chat box. And thanks again, Brad, for spending time with us this evening. I know it's benefited a lot of people. And I, would love to see a lot of people making a lot of money through local marketing. And thanks again for your time. And I hope you take advantage of this $1 trial, and we'll be happy to help you throughout your rollout of that in your business. If you want a $1 trial, just go to MyRepMgr.com. It's right there on the home page. Or go to the Get Started and it says $1 trial. All right, thanks a lot.